In Arabic, we have a saying, health is a crown only the ill recognize. When did this apply for you? That's a great saying. It applies to me all the time. I have EDS3, a connective tissue disorder that has a wide range of severity with characteristics scarring, hypermobile joints, and stretchy skin, and live with chronic pain and chronic fatigue. It most applied to me when I had dislocated both my knees and was hobbling around on a cane, and had to wear a wrist brace on that wrist because the cane was making my wrist want to dislocate. I also recently messed up my bad ankle and my bad hip again. I was really resentful of other people's health, especially when older people say, "Oh, it all gets worse with age." I never got to be truly fit and healthy, so I get really sad when people are complaining they got old. It also applies to my mental health. I have an eating disorder and I am really resentful that other people are allowed to lose weight and diet and do disordered things, but I'm not. Honestly, pretty much daily. I have MS and luckily I'm not physically affected in a major way currently. However, I have major cognitive issues mostly around fatigue. I can't remember what feeling well feels like anymore, to be honest. I can best describe it as when you are getting over a bad flu, just it doesn't ever fully get better. 4 years ago I was struck down with chronic fatigue and fibro. Was bedbound and in pain every day. Had to get a wheelchair to get around. Just being able to walk without pain is something I took for granted, and I would look at other people walking around, thinking that they had no idea how awesome that really was. I'm a lot better these days, but now very health conscious and try and do all the things to enjoy life. When my herniated disc left me in excruciating pain and walking with a limp. The things you take for granted. I developed a chronic illness early in life. None of my friends understood. They were healthy, carefree. As far as I can remember, I've been chronically ill. I've had to think about things they never had to. When my nose is clogged and I think of all the good times I had being able to breathe. When I got my first and only knee injury that kept me from running for 6 months, I realized how much I used running for mental health reasons. Then my sibling developed an autoimmune disorder and I truly understood how much I value my health. Unfortunately it's applied to me for the last 7 years. Was perfectly healthy, then took a fall that started an entire cascade of medical issues that are still debilitating. Long story, but basically the fall worsened damage that was already there, and it only got worse from there with surgeries and other procedures. Anyway, this reminds me of the saying, youth is wasted on the young. I'm 43, and I can say this is absolutely true, as well. When I realized I am an American student with 0 savings and 0 insurance and I need major fucking dental work. Skeptical. My father was in a coma and my grandmother died from an illness that she suffered from for months. Both of them were fine the day before, but sadly my grandmother didn't make it. Even though both weren't good experiences, I learned a lot from them. I started getting random involuntary jerks in my right leg, then arm. They move my limb with enough force to move dozens of centimeters and it really hurts when I hit something. I had to stop driving, because gas, and there are a few hobbies I can't really get into anymore, painting especially. It's made my commute hell as the noise and lights make it worse, and I'm afraid of falling down the stairs. In essence, over a few weeks, I went from healthy to experiencing significant motor issues. I feel like I have gained some minor personal understanding of what those with disabilities experience. Also, I hope I stop twitching. It's been 7 weeks, my MRI is a week out and the neurologist a whole month. Send help. Up until a trampoline accident 2 years ago, my neck was pain-free. Now I have a dull ache most of the time and no amount of stretching and massaging seems to get rid of it. The amount of pain varies day to day. I can't yet afford to go see a doctor or a PT about it. Whenever my back hurts from my scoliosis, whenever I see my mom sick, when my grandmother died from cancer a few months ago. When I noticed I wasn't able to go fishing as much as I used to be able to due to recurring back pain. The pain made it hard to stand for extended periods, and getting knocked around the boat made it worse. Plus it was making sleep hard, which made waking up early hard, and staying up early even harder. I finally decided to go to the doctor, and they don't know what the cause is, just using PT to help strengthen the core and hope it helps. When I had gastroenteritis, one of the main things was diarrhea every hour. Also, you know that stomach feeling when you're about to throw up? Yeah, I had that all the time. Once I had my daughter. I had horrible morning sickness, a serious condition that required surgery while I was pregnant, and gestational diabetes. I'm so grateful I don't have serious long-term effects from the pregnancy, and neither does my daughter. My whole damn life. I've been asthmatic since I was 6. My entire childhood was a medley of trying to play with other kids, having an asthma attack and then spending a few days in the hospital. I was told I'd grow out of it, but never did. Medication has definitely helped control it these days, but I still have several attacks a year, and it really sucks to see everyone enjoying life while I get another trip to another hospital. If you don't suffer from a chronic condition, you are so damn lucky. When I started being seriously ill myself in middle school, I would be in total pain and just watch in wonder as others around me moved easily, had a good time doing physical things, and never had to stop to think if they were feeling well enough to take something on. I threw my back out a few months ago, took me about 2 weeks to feel normal again. Now that I'm back up to 100%, I'll find myself walking down some stairs and thinking, boy, it sure is great that I can do this without needing a cane. This year, as a result of a long period, a few months, of extreme anxiety followed by about a week of the most intense pain I've ever experienced, my nervous system is fried. So now I can't do any kind of long cardio workout, because if I do and I go longer than 10 minutes or so, my nervous system thinks I should be in fight or flight and basically just panic all day and then have insomnia. If I do anything arthritic, I need to monitor my exertion like a hawk and keep it below a certain threshold. Now I see dudes in their 20s out for a jog and I can tell they're far from home, icicles forming on their beards, that lazy and flush look that joggers get when they're a few miles into a run, and I can't help but think how good they have it without realizing it. I had my appendix out in April. What should have been an outpatient surgery turned into a 10-day stay where my intestines never woke up for surgery and I developed a bowel blockage. Basically, my stomach kept filling with so much fluid that it hurt extremely bad to just breathe. The first time I threw up it was 1.5 liters of fluid. I then figured out if I threw up more often it wouldn't hurt as bad, to the point where they stuck a tube into my nose and down to my stomach to pump its contents out so I didn't have to puke for relief. All while being pumped with 1 milligram liquid dilaudid every 4 hours on the dot. Was extremely addicted by the end of the stay. I gained plus 30 pounds from all the liquid but couldn't eat or drink for the 10 days, so once my bowels woke back up and I got all the excess liquid out, I was down 25 pounds from my original weight when I came in for surgery. A total weight swing of 55 pounds 1/10 would not recommend. The entire time I sat in bed thinking about how when healthy I take it for granted. About right now. I've had on and off insomnia since December started. I never appreciated being able to sleep soundly for 7 to 9 hour blocks until for some reason my brain stopped being able to. I can only sleep for semi-long periods with sleeping pills now. It's a nightmare, pun intended, but I'm staying positive. When I lost 5 kilograms in a week, bearing in mind I was an athlete that was supposed to have their biggest competition in 2 weeks' time. I have a degenerative gum disease. My mum has it too. So I tend to notice people's nice teeth because mine are fucked lol. Having to deal with the American healthcare system really makes this both worse and better. It's worse because it took nearly 3 years from the onset of my symptoms to receive my diagnosis. But better because once I did, I knew I would finally get better. In May 2019 I was admitted to the hospital for a UTI, a rarity in men, so I knew it was serious, and let me tell you it was not fun. 4 days into that 7-day stay I was given my Crohn's disease diagnosis. I pull all my willpower and strength into not giving up. I was near 75 pounds at 21 years old and 5'6". I was frail and had resigned to living my life that way since the onset in December 2016. I cried so many happy tears when my symptoms disappeared after starting my treatment in the hospital. Here I am 7 months later, 120 pounds total weight, the healthiest I have ever looked and felt in my life. Although it was scary to be in the hospital alone for a week, I knew I needed to be there, otherwise I would not be here today. Anytime that I have tooth pain, or have stopped-up/congestion problems, all I can do is think about what it's like to not have them. Having to work on Christmas Eve/Christmas/Thanksgiving/etc. Used to think it wasn't so bad. Now I can see how awful it is. After my growing years of working in retail and food service, I will never go shopping anywhere near a holiday again. If me not going shopping means their day is just a little less stressful, it's worth staying home. I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings for Christmas Eve last night. I know people got to eat, but honestly fuck y'alls who swamped the takeout yesterday.